just like a star. Hello, welcome to Game On, the show that delivers consistently, just like a postman.
My postman's rubbish! I ordered a CD in April, and I'm still waiting.
What was the CD?
Barry Manilow's
Well,
great...
coming up this week. The Forza is strong in London.
BioWare show off their Mass Effect multiplayer excitement.
Uncharted goes off the map.
What has this
My pom-poms
got to do with the future of video games?
And we delve deep into our bag to answer your questions. First though, the streets of London have been filled with the world's greatest supercars, all travelling in tandem to, well, a car park. That's exciting.
Here they are, crossing Tower Bridge. There's a Ferrari Enzo.
Yep. Another red, fast-looking car.
A Lamborghini in a lovely shade of green.
A muscle car and an Aston Martin.
Another green supercar.
And a VW Golf. Truly the sexiest car ever conceived.
Hot stuff.
Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it.
The cars, there are 80 in total, are driving around London to mark the release of Forza Motorsport 4.
Just driving around everywhere. They literally are the A to Z of supercars.
Yep, there's an Aston Martin all the way through to a Zonda, which isn't just a cool way of saying Honda.
Isn't?
Nope.
Oh really? I thought it was just how Jeremy Clarkson said it.
Nope.
No one man should have all that power.
4 of the cars are worth over £1 million each, and in total they're worth a combined value of, have a guess?
£8.2 million?
Exactly. Just right.
Wow, what a guess.
The clock's ticking, I just count the hours.
That means the car park they all end up in is arguably the most expensive car park in the world.
No, whenever I use a pay and display, it always seems to cost around about the same amount.
The 80 cars match the 80 manufacturers featured in Forza, which is good news for petrol heads. You can, in a way, get behind the wheel of these expensive gas guzzlers without having to pay for the insurance, or indeed the car park.
Or the car itself. Just to put that out there. Now, you may or may not have heard about the Mass Effect multiplayer announcement this week.
I haven't. What happened?
Well, it was something everyone was expecting, but now BioWare has made it official in a video that they've released online.
Oh, good.
I'm David Silverman.
But we don't want to show you David Silverman.
Look at that guy trying to muscle in on our turf. He'd be tripping.
But calm down, this is
Dog.
video game journalism, it's not gang warfare.
He is tripping, though.
Instead, let's cut straight to Casey Hudson, ME3's executive producer.
Does he also do the songs? Like, do he feature on Kanye West?
Mr. Hudson.
Yeah, is that him?
Um,
Do you have blonde hair?
no.
You'll be able to join your friends for 4-player co-op missions where you're really fighting for control of locations throughout the galaxy. But what's really amazing about multiplayer in Mass Effect 3 is that for the first time you'll be able to take control of characters that you've never been able to play before. You can be an Asari, you can be a Drell, you have access to all the different classes and many of the different races that you've seen in the Mass Effect series, but you haven't been able to play before.
Okay, I'm all up for playing as a kick-ass fugly Krogan, but there's also been word of multiplayer affecting the outcome of single player.
Mr. Hudson.
Explain.
We've created something that is a cohesive experience between the multiplayer and the single-player aspects of Mass Effect 3. These places that Commander Shepard is trying to secure across the galaxy as part of your war assets on the single-player side, you're fighting to control those on the multiplayer side. And the better you do, the more you control, the better your single-player ending will be.
Well, what if you don't have any friends, hypothetically? If imagine I'm a hypothetical friendless person. What you know, I'm not suggesting I don't have anyone to play with.
It is pretty difficult for an imaginary friend to hold a controller, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, what?
If you want to do a really complete single-player playthrough, then you can absolutely get to the highest levels of success in the endgame.
Okay, so you need to do well in multiplayer to have the best single-player ending,
Yep.
but you can have the best single-player ending without playing multiplayer.
BioWare, you cheeky, paradoxical bunch of developers, you. Either way, we actually think it's pretty good of BioWare to bring something new to the table in a tried and tested franchise.
Yeah, just as long as they've made Galactic Warfare fun.
Next up, Sony and Naughty Dog released nearly 5 minutes of Uncharted 3 gameplay footage this week.
Showing Nathan Drake trekking through a desert, the developers are really showing off their skills at creating convincing environments.
Uncharted 1 had its dense jungles, number 2 had some ridiculously realistic snow, and now it's sand.
So much sand.
Yeah, we're not the only ones who feel a bit parched just looking at it.
Here we go. Shh. It's undrinkable.
We also get to see that Naughty Dog aren't afraid to destroy the scenery that they've put so much time and effort into.
A rather dramatic fight sequence for Drake there, and all that from a man who's severely dehydrated and, going by our guess, severely lost.
Damn it, I'm trapped down here.
Now, I have a question, Dan.
Fire away.
What the hell is this?
Eat my pom-poms.
That's the Hoff dressed as a cheerleader to promote the Xbox Live game Burnout Crash.
But why?
Well, you know, if you fancy him dressed as a chicken, then here you go.
Lay an egg.
Yeah, that does actually make a little more sense.
Yeah, well, these ads came out last month, but we're only just paying attention to them because David Hasselhoff wants to design his very own video game.
What is going on with the world? And what is going on with that man? He will literally do anything. You know, he was just on Dancing with the Stars in America.
I missed that one, to be honest.
Really?
And really, my favourite thing that he ever did was that video of him drunkenly eating a cheeseburger.
That was a magical piece of film.
Original or extra crispy?
Speaking about his work for Burnout Crash, everybody's least favourite Britain's Got Talent judge said, "I've wanted to develop my own game, so this was a way of seeing if it works, and maybe we can take this one step further with using the same concept as Burnout Crash and maybe do something with the Hoff."
Did he refer to himself in the third person?
That was a good question to ask, Nat. Yes, he did.
Are you doing it now as well?
Well, you should try it. Nat really enjoys it.
Dan doesn't know what to say.
3 cheers for the Hoff.
According to the Hoff, he's in talks with EA about developing some kind of game or app. Or
And after saying he thinks Burnout Crash is what Knight Rider is about, maybe he's heading down the 80s talking car route for this.
Knight Rider, a show where an inanimate object was more intelligent than its star.
Well, what do you think? Would a game with the Hoff be a hit, or would it end up in the bargain bin along with his last single?
Jump in my car.
I liked that song.
I wanna take you home.
And finally, we come to our big bag of mail.
It's an imaginary bag, at least for now.
Obviously, Dan. We're giving you the chance to ask us anything about games, and we'll try to answer your questions in the show.
We've been inundated with questions, so...
Inundated.
Yeah.
Flooded.
We are very sorry if yours doesn't get an answer this week, but do ask us again.
Without further ado, though, let the interrogation begin. Some music there, maybe? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the Metal Gear Solid series as a whole? Good question there from the Doom Guy 10. I like it.
There you go. That's your answer from that.
Yeah, no. Basically, maybe first 2 better than the third?
First 2 are the best.
Yeah.
They're phenomenally good games, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
they are great games.
You know,
Great
instilled
games.
some good characters, good fighting, good
Arguably,
story.
Solid Snake's voice got too gruff in the third.
He did become
Maybe
a bit of
that
a
just-
parody of himself.
Yeah.
You know, it also didn't help that one of the characters was called Deep Throat.
No, it didn't help anyone. Hideo Kojima, though, the producer, says he's been trying to move off the game series and give it to someone else for years.
But it just doesn't happen, and he finds himself getting sucked back in.
With MGS Rising out next, we'll leave it until then to decide if he's still doing a job or he really does need to move on, take his own advice.
Yeah.
First game you ever played? Simple one there from Doddy Dizzle.
Doddy Dizzle.
Yeah, good name. I'm going to go with this. I think the first one I really got to grips with is Monkey Island, Secret of Monkey Island on the Amiga. Loved it. I mean, it certainly isn't the first game I played, but it's the first one that really captured my imagination. I'm looking forward to the film when LucasArts finally... Lucasfilm, indeed. And LucasArts.
Amalgamated.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it at all. It's going to ruin my entire memory of Guybrush Threepwood.
The memory of your first ever game.
Fantasy antics.
Completely.
Dan, what's yours?
Mortal Kombat. I definitely played my cousin's Mortal Kombat when I was about 6, maybe. You know, some people might say that was too young to be playing Mortal Kombat. I just disagree. It hasn't really instilled a violent nature in me at all.
I disagree. Fine.
How's the bruise?
FIFA or Pro Evo from Mark in Stoke? Somebody had to say it. I'm FIFA now.
I'm also FIFA now.
Good.
FIFA now, it sounds like a new game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pro Evo, I think, when it got up to 2005, that was the last good one.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't remember if I played 2005. It definitely had its day. It was the easiest to play, I think.
Well, this was the thing. FIFA,
somebody.
in my opinion, used to be quite arcadey, and Pro Evo was the more realistic, and they've swapped.
Yeah. Definitely more playable FIFA now. I think it's better than ever. They really upped their game, probably because they were seen as the kind of slightly worse child of the football franchise. FIFA used to be Pro Evo. Somebody with an actual question that we might actually be able to give some facts on. Will Guardian Heroes be released on PSN?
From Mikol19.
Yeah, the answer is no.
Unfortunately, the Sega Saturn classic 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up and hack-and-slash action RPG will only be out on Xbox Live.
Question from Hendy J. Do you get all the bitches? That's a good question, Dan.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a yes from me as well. Favourite villain to be shown in Arkham City so far? Good question.
I'm going to jump in straight away with Mr. Freeze.
You will bring me Nora, or you will die.
Yeah.
Just because
Classic.
I love the fact that his name is Mr. Freeze, and yet we all know he's a doctor. He didn't go to medical school for bloody years.
Mine revolves around a joke as well. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, took her for a drink on Tuesday. We were making love by Wednesday, and on Thursday, Friday and Saturday we chilled on Sunday.
I think somebody in this room made that joke.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's the only joke you've ever made that I laughed at.
Solomon Grundy, born on a
For a drink on Tuesday, we were making love by Wednesday, and on Thursday and Friday and Saturday we chilled on Sunday.
What is your favourite game of all time, Nat and Dan? That's from Rainbow Starlin 69.
Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic.
Wipe this pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy.
Good.
Simple.
Do you know what? I'm going to say Super Mario Land on the Game Boy. And I'm not going to give a justification for it. That was the Game On Mailbag. Questions answered.
If you have a question to stick in our mailbag,
Ooh.
then post it on our Facebook
Obscene.
wall at facebook.com/GameOnTV.
Or send it to us via the magic of Twitter. Game On Nat, Game On Real Dan.
And we'll try to get yours answered next week.
That's all for this week, though. We're off to look at some expensive cars while dressed as cheerleaders.
More gaming galados next week.
Just like a star, just like an angel.
That's beautiful.
Hello, welcome to...
Again, you know what the sad thing is? I've actually got Barry Manilow's greatest hits on my iTunes.
Really? Did you pay for it or legally download it?
I think it just appeared on my computer one day.
This is gold. It was just the way Jeremy Paxman... Clarkson. 4 of the cars are worth over £1. The 80s cars may...
80 cars.
What, you mean they're not 80s cars? Phoebe tripping.
Yo. I was about to go, yo, calm down.
Yo! Hey, what's happening, dude? I'm the guy with the rep for being rude.
Tripping all over the street.
Right, that's not good. Okay, I'm all up for playing as a kick-ass fugly That's hard to say, kick-ass fugly Krogan.
Came out the last month and we take interest because of the Hoff.
That's all for this week, though. We're going to look at some... I went a bit West Country. Good, well, that was gaming news par excellence.